Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Yes Process. I am so excited to be here today. God has given me another tool that we can use in the Yes Process, right? So just a recap. So our scripture is based out of John 5 and 6. And this is where Jesus comes to the pool of Bethesda. He's talking to the man who's been lying up for 38 years, right? Waiting for somebody to put him in the pool. And Jesus says, will be made whole. This was not a physical question. This was not about his physical ability. This was an emotional, a mental, a spiritual question. Will you be made whole? Have you decided in your mind that enough is enough? You're tired of being tired and you are ready to move. Will you be made whole? Right? Will you be made whole? We talked about some people say no. Some people are not ready to say yes to their healing and yes to God's vision and yes to the journey. Some people are not ready, right? And our prayer is that God continues to hold them, mold them until they are ready to walk in what it is that they are created and called to walk in, right? When you say yes, though, you need to be prepared because your yes is not just a one time thing. It's every single day. You have to get up and you have to say yes to his will, yes to his way, yes to your gift, your calling, your talent, your ability, your purpose. You have to say yes. Because every single day, life has its own challenges, it has its own issues, it has its own problems that is you're going to have to encounter. Saying yes is easy when the sun is bright, sun is shining, the sky is clear, the sky is blue, right? It's easy to say yes. But when life is lifing, the first thing we tend to do is drop whatever it is we say yes to because we reach for things that are going to solve this current problem versus staying committed and staying consistent in what we say yes to, understanding that what we said yes to is going to anchor us and give us what we need to continue to walk through whatever life throws at us. Okay. Jerking on me some mullen today. Um, so we have to understand being is enough. Okay. We could walk through all kinds of things and we're always going, right? So we say yes, you have to understand life is going to come up. Life is going to come up. So the yes process gives us tools that we need to continue to say yes on this journey, even when life is active. Okay. Even tighter because we know, we know that all things work together. All things work together. God is not going to waste one single circumstance, event, one tear. He's not wasting anything. Continue to move forward. Okay. And some of the tools that we've been talking about in previous sessions, one is knowing that you're stagnant. You have to know that you are not moving. A lot of people think that you're moving, but you're just spinning your wheels. You're not moving, right? And that could be for several reasons. And it goes back to undisciplined emotions. A lot of times when you're making decisions from an undisciplined emotional space, you're not going to move because you're making decisions from a place of chaos, right? You're reacting versus responding, and there is a difference. You're making decisions because you're angry. You're making decisions because you're frustrated, you're overwhelmed, so you need a quick solution versus making decisions from a place of peace. That's why we talked about undisciplined emotions. Figure out where you're stuck at. You're stuck. Why are you stuck? Where are you stuck? You got to get to the root. And that helps you do that when you discipline your emotions. Anger is not a problem. You can be mad, just don't see it. You can be angry, but undisciplined anger is rage, right? So are you making decisions from a place of peace or a place of rage? That's going to determine whether you see manifestation or whatever you're working towards or not. If you don't see manifestation, that means you're not moving, that means you're stuck. God told me yesterday, if you don't feel resistance, then you're not moving. You should feel resistance, right? Because there's always going to be opposition to what you're doing. Always. That's why you need tools. So you can navigate the opposition. The opposition is not for you to say no. It's not for you to tuck tail and run. It's for you to say, oh, I must be going in the right direction. Let me get this tool out and use it to move forward. Okay? We talked about doing it afraid. Fear is either an assistant or an assassin. It's either helping you to make sure that you're prepared, make sure you're watching out for the things around you as you move forward, or it's an assassin. The enemy don't want you to do what you're supposed to do. He's trying to keep you paralyzed in a moment, in a situation, in an emotion, so that you don't move forward. So realizing that you're stuck, knowing where you're stuck, why you're stuck, right? And then doing it afraid. Because the fear ain't gonna go nowhere. It's not. We waiting until we feel confident. No. Go while you shaky. I know it sounds crazy, but go while you shaking in your boots. Go while you, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. It's so often people tell me, yeah, you just don't look like you're afraid. I'm scared to death. I am shaking in my boots. Okay. But one thing about me that God knows that he can count on, I'm gonna do it afraid. I'm gonna do it afraid. Whatever happens, happens. If this is what God wants me to do, this is what I'm gonna do. Right? So another tool we're gonna talk about today is the art of being. The art of being. Being is enough. Being who you are, where you are right now in this moment is enough. It's enough. Becoming is the journey. Becoming is the journey. Doing is just a reflection of what's already in you. So the art of being is the ability to balance both being and becoming. Think of it as a scale, right? Think of it as a scale. You have being, you have becoming. It's both and, it's not either or. You got to do both simultaneously, right? Some people are high in being, some people are in being. Got a balance. Either way, so someone who is high in doing, right? You got plans. You trying to build. You trying to make this money. You try to make some plans. You try to get somewhere. So you constantly working. You constantly on your phone. Constantly answering messages, text messages, email messages. You constantly calling people back. You constantly doing this. Constantly doing that. But rarely are you just sitting still, reflecting, being in the moment, taking in the scenery, taking in what's going on. The opposite of that is being high in being, right? So you're making a lot of plans. You might be going to classes and writing a lot of notes. You got a notebook full of notes, all kinds of plans. The vision is laid out, but you ain't doing nothing with it. You're just plotting and planning. You're not moving forward. You're not doing anything with what you are accomplishing, what you're learning, what you're writing down. You're being in the moment. You're taking in everything, right? But you're not doing nothing with it. In the context of family, right? And it's important for me because I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a homeschooling mom, I own my own business, I'm a caregiver. It's a lot going on, right? I belong to some communities that I got to be active in. There's a lot to do, right? But you got to take moments to just be. I have to be a wife. You don't do a wife. I have to be a wife. I have to be a mother, be a caregiver, be a business owner, entrepreneur, be, right? Not necessarily about what you're doing all the time. Yes, there's a thing that you need to do. You need to go to work. You need to make money. I get that. But you also have to be. Because if you're not being, then you're not taking in everything that's around you, the sights, the smells, the deep breath, the memories, right? If you're always on the go in the context of family, if you're always on the go, what is your family going to remember? What is your child going to remember? They grow up fast. You don't have much time before they're an adult. They grow up really fast. And so being in the moment for me with my daughter, times where we're not homeschooling, I'm just being mom. Right? We got to distinguish it. Okay, let's cuddle up and watch a movie. That's being in the moment and not being on your phone. Not being on your phone, not checking your messages, turn your ringer off. If you are attached to your phone 24/7, that's a problem. Turn it off. Be in nature. Go outside. Go for a walk, right? On the opposite end, if that's all you do is be in nature, that's all you do is be in the moment. And, oh, this would be a great idea. You write it down, but you'll never do nothing with it. I'm gonna need you to do something with it. Because we need that. The kingdom needs that. And you just being in the moment, not doing anything, there's people suffering because you're not doing your assignment, walking out your assignment. Okay. Being versus doing. Being in the moment, in the present, doing, working for the future, right? Things that you want, but there's nothing wrong with that. We have to do both. So the art of being is having the balance between being and becoming. The fluidity of being able to move back and forth, understanding the moment, recognizing the moment, taking nature cues, right? You walk in, all that is beautiful, right? Take it in. Look around you. God wants you to enjoy life as you're working through life, both in, okay? So I thought a great example was Martha and Mary. That's a great example to be able to bring this home, okay? So in Luke 10:38 through 42 in the ESV, it says, now as they went on their way, Jesus entered a village, and a woman named Martha welcomed him into her house. And she had a sister called Mary who sat at the Lord's feet and listened to his teaching. But Martha was distracted with much serving, and she went up to him and said, Lord, do you not care that my sister has left me to serve alone? Tell her then to help me. But the Lord answered her, Martha, Martha, you are anxious and troubled about many things, but one thing is necessary. Mary has chosen a good option, a good portion, which will not be taken away from her. Martha was doing, Mary was being. Okay? Martha doing, she was distracted with much serving. Martha's actions reflect the cultural expectations of the day of hospitality, and especially for women back in that day. She is striving, performing, and producing. Her focus is on task rather than present. Is any of this hitting home for you? She becomes anxious and troubled and even resentful, emotionally disconnected despite physically being near Jesus. Her complaint to Jesus shows a desire for fairness, but also reveals a spirit of frustration that comes from striving without stillness. Mary is being. She sat at the Lord's feet and listened. This posture was radical. Not only was she a woman sitting in the space of a disciple, but she prioritized presence over performance. Jesus honors her position, saying Mary has chosen the better portion, a deeply affirming statement. Being with him was enough. So again, I say, being is enough. Becoming is the journey. Okay. So that's a tool for us to put in our toolbox because we need that as we move forward. Now, let's talk about the art of being. Art is subjective, right? We're all creative beings, every single one of us. We're creative. And so, art, I love that when God said it, the art of being, that means we are creating the balance as we see fit for ourselves. My balance between being and becoming is not going to look the same for you. Yours is going to be different, right? This is simply a concept that you can use, implement in your life, and see how it works for you. You get tools from everywhere. Tools from the yes process. You get tools from on your journey through experiences, good or bad. You get tools. You get understanding. You get wisdom. You get knowledge. And then you implement those things. And you draw on your canvas of life. And you figure out how it makes sense for you. I can't tell you how to do anything. I can just give you the tools that will enable you to do it for yourself. The art of being, to me, is a powerful tool because it keeps me mindful that I have to be in the present, and the tool that I can use, right? Or the art of being is a tool that you can use to splash on your canvas of life to figure out what makes sense for you. I know for me, you know, all the roles that I have, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you hear me say it all the time. I get up about 3 o'clock in the morning. For me, that's balance because I can be, right? I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. My daughter gets up about 7. So that gives me a few hours to just be whatever I need to, whatever I need to be. I might just need to sit here, meditate. Might need to pray. I might need to get on my face. I may need to, whatever I need to do, drink me some good old tea, right? Whatever I need to do, be in the moment. Take deep breaths, right? Look around, be grateful for where you are in the moment. I know we always strive, we always want more, more. I get it. But are you appreciating what you already have, what you've already accomplished? Right? I take time every week. My Mondays are for me. My Mondays are mommy days, right? And I take inventory of what I got done. And I pat myself on the back because it's never, to me, it's never enough, right? It should have been something I was supposed to be doing, something more I was supposed to be doing, right? But I I thank myself that I got to where I am. Good job. Good job. Because life is tough and you're not gonna be able to give 100% every day. That's why it's important to be in the moment. Because if you're always trying to become, because doing is a part of the journey, you're trying to become, you lose focus of what's really important, which is now in the more, especially if you have children, especially if you have a significant other, they need your attention too. And then you need your attention. You got to pour into you. Then you got to pour into the people that God has given you, right? So you have to be in those moments. There's always something to do. Always something to do. You'll never get done with your to-do list, ever. Ever. You'll never be done with your to-do list. So that's why you have to prioritize being. So where are you on the scale? Are you doing too much? Are you being too much? We need balance. We need balance. I just let me put this in here because I'm an herbalist. This is so important. This is so important. The art of being is so important because whether you are high in doing or high in being, either one, you're out of balance. Either one, you're out of balance. When you're out of balance, so is your body. If you're always going, or whether you're just sitting there stagnant, sitting, you're out of balance. Your body will be out of balance. When there's imbalance in your body, it shows up. It manifests itself. Remember, I told you your decisions manifest the reality. If your decision is always going, or always sitting, you're going to see the consequence of that decision. When it comes to being on this health side, I see a lot of people come to me who chronic stress, they have chronic inflammation. Those open the door to chronic illness, whether it's diabetes, heart disease, mind issues, dementia, forgetfulness. People, oh, I forget things all the time. That's not normal. What is going on? Because whatever's going inside of you is going to manifest itself in the physical. Your nervous system is all over the place, which imbalances your organ system. I can't wait to be able to make this plain because I'm actually working on a class for that. Being able to see how chronic illness is directly affected by what goes on inside your body, the stress, the inflammation, the nervousness, the fear, the anger, it shows up in your body and it attacks your organs. And that's why you have whatever illness it is you battling. I know before I put myself in remission, I dealt with a lot of body issues, emotions that manifested themselves in the physical as rheumatoid arthritis, asthma issues. It's a lot of things. So you have to be mindful. There's an art of being, the ability to be able to balance your being and your becoming is essential not only for your walk with God, not only for yourself, not only for the people that God has put in your life, but for your body. How are you going to carry out what God is giving you if your body can't go? Right? Your mind could be fine, but if your body is broken, beaten, suffering, how's it going to go? Be mindful of what you are paying attention to. It has to be a balance. You have to do both. You have to do both. Both and, not either or. Both and. You have to be in the moment and you have to make the steps towards becoming. Both. You need balance. You need peace. A lot of we run around like a chicken with our head cut off. Stop. Stop. Steward your time well. We don't have much time here, right? Steward your time. Steward your money. Steward your relationships well. You have the time. You have the time. You just have to manage it better. Some things you might need to say no to. Some people you may need to say no to. You need time for you. I can't express that enough. You need time for you. Then you need time for the people that God has put in your life, not you put in your life. The people that God has put in your life. I don't play. I don't take it lightly that God has given me a husband who is absolutely amazing. I don't take it lightly that God answered my prayer, giving me a daughter. I have 3 boys, right? I don't take it, you know what I'm saying? I don't take these relationships lightly. I don't take it lightly of taking care of, who I have to take care of. I take my relationships very seriously because God gave me those relationships. That if he didn't, I let them go. You are not my assignment. God didn't give you everybody. Some people we just holding on to that we should have let go a long time ago. God didn't give you that person. You stuck with that person, or that person attached to you. You need to break that up. Maybe you don't have time because you're doing the wrong things. You're focused on the wrong things, right? Balance. Strive for balance in everything, right? I am not the herbalist that says, don't eat meat, be a vegan. I believe there's balance. I believe that you know your body. I believe that if I can show you how to reconnect, because a lot of us are disconnected from our bodies, if you can reconnect with your body, then you'll know what you need and what you don't. I'm not a strict do this, do this, do this. No, because that leads way to other things. Because at some point you're going to break. Sometimes, I don't feel like eating fruit all the time. I want something else. So just because I want something else now, I'm doomed. No, that's not how that goes. It has to be balanced. Balance in everything, in food, in exercise, in stress, in mobility. Balance. Your job, your family, yourself, balance. Too much of anything is not good. I don't care what it is. Even God himself say, you're not supposed to be on the mountaintop with me all the time. I had to learn that. I'm like, God, I'm just supposed to sit here and talk to you all day. He said, no, go. I give you the information that you need. Now go and do what I have told you to do. God don't even want you up under him all the time. Go do something, he says. Go do something. So be in the moment. Yes, be in the moment. Enjoy your life. I know it's hard and it may not be the way that you want it to be. Trust me, I know I'm in that situation. But enjoy where you are as you go, as you become. Because if you're being too much, which means you're not doing anything, are you doing too much, which means you're not in the moment, you're out of balance. You need both. For your mind, for your body, for your spirit, you need both. You need balance. Okay. So as you go out through your week this week, just keep that in mind. Be mindful. Be mindful of the decisions that you are making. Be mindful. Be in the moment. Be in the present. Take deep breaths. Go out in nature. Go take a walk. Look around. Flowers are beautiful. The trees are beautiful. People talking and laughing. And be in the moment. Be in the moment. As well as becoming. And every day, you're getting closer and closer to what you have been created to become. Okay. Don't try to, I'm gonna wait. Once I get it all together, then it may be too late. It breaks my heart when I see people work their whole lives, 30, 40, 50 years, and they say, when I retire, I'm gonna travel. When I retire, I'm gonna do this. When I retire, I'm gonna do that. And then they get to retirement and their body's too worn out to do anything. So they didn't get to do what it is that they wanted to do because they didn't take the time to be in the moment when they could. Be mindful. Be mindful as you go out through this week. And I will see y'all next Tuesday.